All right, man. I assume I'm live right now. Starting off rough, straight up and down, no special effects. But before I get started, though, I want to give a shout out to the members of the Green Gorilla channel. You know who I am. I'm the G with a PhD. The G stand for got him.
Got him! Got him! Oh! Whoa! Whoa!
The G stand for got him. But anyway, man, shout out to Rais Muaji, Darnell Smith, Antonio Ferry, Papa Didas, Barry Little, Brotherly Love 215, Alan Wiley, Mr. Valentino, Jason Hales, The Final Watcher, Black Men Being Brutally Honest, 77 Base X, Craig, Omni Americana, Cameron 87, Deshaun Nolly, Brian Peaks, Michael Ross, Nelso, Apex Prowler, Kareen Henry, Doc LaRock, Julius Ferguson, B. Hillfire, J. Charles, Mark Holt, Lee Ways, Jeffrey Speed, The Face, Mark Swift, Show Me, Black Dog, God Collard, Raphael Brown, Deanne, Donald Watts, Ryan Jackson, Hip Hop.catv, Coach DC, The Remedy, Kashif Caldwell, Ominous Black, I Am Black Man, Nichita, True King 337, Mr. Blue Collar, Barnolas, Kyle J. Sura, I'm Just Jules, Ad Media 83, Brian McMurray, TD Hip Hop Media, Drew Main, Artisan MC, Mr. Heat, Afro Analyst, Issa Abdul Zahir, Sir Anthony, MLR, Charles Rogers, Universal 178, Black Swerve 404, Rashid Barnes, Aaron Smith, DH, See Truth the Revelator, Gold Professor, Arthur Unknown, Dr. Tiasan Johnson, Brian Williams, Kalan Jakala, Ricky Dawson, Cedric Bowman, True 7360, BK Born Shaheed, James Washington, Hostile Adept, Seven Coast Dojo, W. Pierre One, BGS Ibmore, Marvin Battle Jr., and I can't forget my brother in heaven, Force Windu. And on the Patreon side, I'd like to give a shout out to Excalibur, Jason Warren, Soul Pen, Anu219, Pursuer Prisoner, Taz, Kwaku217, S. Haywood, Dragon59, Supreme Ibmore, Adrian Hicks, Jay Bailey, Mr. Michi, Momal, William Ruffin, and Asangwa. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all get my highest honors, y'all. You know? And look, my first inclination was to start going off and cursing and being real aggressive. But I said, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. But I am going to have a conversation. And I will leave the link in the chat for anyone who wants to join in, who wants to comment on what it is that I'm saying. I don't feel like I have to talk very long related to this issue. But the issue is, okay, so everybody from the Black Manosphere is either gay, an incel, or they're broken in some way. So let's talk about gay first. Now, as far as I'm concerned, you can do whatever you want to do with your body parts, man. That's on you. So if you like something in your orifices, your mouth, your anus, you want to do something with your phallus, however you want to do it, that's on you, man. It ain't my business to tell you what to do with your body, man. You can do whatever you want to do with your body. And I don't have an issue with gay people beyond their politicizing gayness to attack black men and to call them the white people or black people. That I take issue with. I take pause with that. I've even had a same gender loving man on my show to talk about the various ways in which queerness has been weaponized against heterosexual black men and created a wedge between black men and black women. That's what I take pause with. But the funny thing is, you got a whole bunch of content creators. I don't know if they're clout chasing or what, but they want to use gayness as a weapon. Well, look, man, let me tell you something. It's too fucking late to use gayness as a weapon, motherfucker. It's too late. I'm going to tell you why it's too late. Because you got rappers dancing on Satan's phallus. You got R&B and pop singers coming out as binary, non-binary. You got R&B singers coming out gay, so it doesn't even have any sting anymore. So what are you talking about? It sounds like some bullshit to me, man. All y'all doing is clout chasing, and you ain't got shit to really talk about related to the arguments that men are making in this space. All you got is some fucking bullshit and innuendo and some slander to put forth because people are threatening your worldview. Fuck that. And the funny thing about it is, just to be quite honest about it, man, I done heard so many different people, man. And I've seen so many different people from all walks of life, black men, black women, whatever the case may be, supporting the gay folks, BLM, and a whole host of other organizations that put forth the ideal that, okay, you know, you being gay ain't no big problem to us. We don't want to persecute you or oppress you or stigmatize you or, you know, otherwise disrespect you and make you feel less than a person. But them same motherfuckers coming out calling black men in the manosphere gay. That's some straight bullshit, man. Y'all on some fuck shit with that. And you know you on some fuck shit. Attack the argument. An argument is neither gay nor straight. An argument is an argument. A point is a point. But the funny thing is, so many people feel like they're like psychologists now, psychiatrists or therapists. They know the underlying springs of men's action in this space. They know the internal motivations for which people are actually here. How the hell do you know that? But the funny thing is, you have literally thousands upon thousands of hours in content with men explaining to you what their issues actually are. But instead of listening to that shit, the first thing you want to run to is some queer shit in order to try to slander people and make merry or make light of what the fuck their actual arguments are, their real grievances are. Fuck y'all for that. And then what you worried about some gay shit anyway for? Why you worried about that? The last time I checked, people who continue to talk about gay shit, more than likely trying to front and posture and pose and to practice, you know, this performative masculinity so they can duck and hide so they gayness ain't actually out there in the streets. Keep it 100. A lot of y'all motherfuckers done kissed mans in the mouth and done pulled out his pole and done had a little suck. Real talk. And the funny thing about it is, black women, I thought y'all was like the ride or dies for the gay folks. Like, you know, the ones who are really actually putting up them damn rainbows and shit on your Facebook posts and all this. Real talk. Now all of a sudden you got all this animus for gay folks. I thought y'all was ride or dying with gay folks. You feel me? Now you want to talk about gay people. Now you want to act like, you know, you got a problem with gay people or people in the space. Okay, let's say, for example, there is somebody in the space that's gay. So motherfucking what then? What you gonna do about it? Why you gonna monitor his dick? And I got a brother, man, already in the behind, you know, and I'm gonna let him come to the fore. But I'm just saying, there is no shock value associated with calling somebody gay now. In fact, you got people getting news magazine coverage, front covers, like when Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner changed his name to her name and became a woman, everybody lionized this motherfucker. Right or wrong? I know I'm right. But all of a sudden, now it's a whole bunch of smoke related to motherfuckers that you consider to be gay because they don't act like you act, or you think that they not being manly enough or present manly enough. And the funny thing about it is, you got women now coming out calling motherfuckers gay, but at the same time, they got them rainbows every goddamn where. How does that add up, man? How does it check out? On the issue of gayness, man, I got a brother who decided to step in, man. His name is subscribe to Kevin L. I don't know what your the whole moniker you have is, but go ahead and speak on it, man.
Oh, well, thank you for having me on the panel. It's Kevin Incel, by the way. I recently subscribed to you like a week ago. I just got your notification, maybe like, a few minutes ago. But after hearing your sentence or a paragraph, I get the gist of what you're talking about. So you don't have to broach me at the topic. You are correct. We live in a day and age now where LGBT, and I don't, so can I be real or
just keep it 100?
Okay,
man. Like,
okay. I don't want to mess up your algorithm because I have a channel myself, so I don't want to mess up your algorithm.
Man, and promote everything you need to promote. Promote yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Kevin, subscribe to Kevin and Sales. So you are correct. There was a time in the Black community. I'm probably the same age as you. I'm in my mid-30s, and especially like in high school, even like early years in college, homosexuality was not the norm. In the Black community, particularly in the forefront. I mean, there may have been homosexuality, but it was more or less they practiced that at home, et cetera, et cetera. With all these, social media outlets and these new movements come into play, you do have more of an acceptance of it now, especially in media, et cetera. And Black women particularly are at the forefront of not only accepting it, but trying to promote it in the grand scale. For example, Black Lives Matter, a lot of other female groups, they willingly flaunt the rainbow flag. Now, as soon as you, as a man, a masculine man, like most of us are, we deter away from what they perceive as, Black men, and this is just a generalized statement. Black men used to simp hard, and Black women were used to that. So now that a lot of Black men are waking up, Black men are having standards. Now all of a sudden we're gay. Well, if you accept homosexuality, then what the fuck is body shaming? I mean, not body shaming, but now you're shaming me by saying that I'm gay. But I thought you guys accepted gayness. So I get what you're saying. But the overall problem is not just the gay shaming. It's the whole idea that Black women particularly want a level of control over Black men, and they don't like when Black men leave the plantation. They don't like when Black men have standards. I'm gonna give you a case in point. I'm not married. I don't have any children. I don't have a girlfriend. But the thing of the matter is that I've been called gay because I've told girls that I don't date thick women. I don't date fat women. So all of a sudden, oh, you're gay. I'm like, no, I like tall, thin women. The reason why I like tall, thin women is because I'm a smaller man and I find thinner women's bodies more attractive. Oh, nigga, you're gay. I'm like, no, again, I'm not gay. But what they don't understand is that those gay shaming tactics don't work on very, heterosexual men anyway. I mean, you guys already accept it. So, why even say it in the first place? Am I making any sense, brother?
You making a lot of sense,
okay.
Man. I mean, that's my whole point. First of all, it's just like this comment this brother Paul Johnson put up here. And what's up, TD Hip Hop Media? And what's up, all the brothers in the chat? I can't get to you all. And thank you, Greg, for becoming a new member of the channel. I appreciate that. I need your support. So if you can support me in any kind of way, man, I appreciate that. But, I'm just seeing a lot of content creators. And mostly this energy is directed towards Kevin Samuels, right? Because he's blown up. And so therefore everybody now is wanting to come out and say, well, he's suspect, he's gay. And the reason that he's doing what he's doing is because he's gay. Well, first of all, gay men, I thought were like women's best friend.
That's what I thought too.
You know what I'm saying? I thought like gay men were Black women's, ace boon coons. Right. The people that they had in their back pocket.
Right.
But now you see the real, but it's not just women that are doing this. It's also men that are coming out insulting Black men in the manosphere with this super, Captain Save a whole simp enforcer attitude. And I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, dog. Like, okay, you might disagree with some of the points we're making, but damn, This ain't got nothing to do with hating. And first of all, let me just say this, man. I'm not talking about all women, because there are different kinds of women who have different kinds of worldviews and different attitudes and different kinds of ways of acting. But we're talking about a cultural phenomenon that's been in the making for 50, 60 plus years. Like, black women, black feminists, black lesbian feminists are the ones who created, one could argue, this whole wave around black culture and black acceptance of queerness and the LGBTQ shit. I know this. I've even had videos that covered this topic. The Combahee River Collective was a group of black lesbian feminists who pushed this narrative, this discourse, this worldview, this wave. And now it's become preeminent. It just is what it is. Okay, it's not black men from the Manosphere who started this shit. We're responding to it.
Right.
This is what we're responding to. But at the end of the day, now all of a sudden, you showing your true colors and you want to use gay as a way to shout somebody down and to discredit their viewpoints.
Exactly.
You can't discredit a viewpoint in today's age by means of making reference to somebody's gayness. You can do it, but it ain't holding no currency for real. Right. All the shock value is gone from it. Period.
Right. Yep.
You know, and look, I'm telling you, my honest to goodness opinion is, if you got a lot of energy for, if you creating streams about gay people and whether or not they're gay, to me, you seem kind of suspect to me. Because what you worried about what somebody else doing with their gonads for? Why you so preoccupied with what somebody else doing with his pleasure centers, his lower chakras? That's my whole viewpoint. What you worried about it for?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they definitely use the gay tactic, really, because they really find that Kevin Samuels is really masculine, and I feel like that's when a lot of women, particularly and also beta men, they use the whole gay thing when they really do find a man to be really truly masculine. What better way can I destroy this man who I fear by saying he's gay, by saying that he's a pillow biter, by saying he's in a closet? So that's why they fear. I mean, that's why they label Kevin Samuels as gay, because he destroys everything about the feminist movement. It's very masculine to tell a woman what to do. It's very masculine to tell a woman, you need to lose weight. You need to know how to cook. You need to do this, that, and the other. So people who fear that, particularly black lesbians, beta men who are simps, now, you know what? We fear that. Now he's gay now. You're gay. So they're trying to destroy his image by saying that he is everything other than masculine, when in fact, he is probably one of the most masculine men on YouTube. I mean, in terms of in the Manosphere on YouTube, in my opinion.
Right. Well, look, I'm not here to talk about somebody's gayness.
Right.
Specifically as a content creator, because I don't know that individual. I haven't had any interpersonal interactions with this person on any level, like not even an email, nothing. So I can't tell you. And even if the man was gay, so what? That's right. My whole issue. My whole issue is, what are you worrying about man's masculinity for? You ain't fucking him.
Right.
So what's the big issue?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, because black men have an issue with this culture and with the system that we're in right now, and the way that we're talked about, the way that we're treated on all sides. We're not just treated this way in the media. We're treated this way in our homes. We're treated this way by state institutions.
Right.
All right. So this is and this leads to my next point. Okay. That we're broken. Okay. Now, a lot of people want to talk about how broken black men are, how hurt they are, how, they need therapy and so on and so forth. My whole issue is, look, man, black women came out and had a social movement related to their issues. Nobody called them broken. Nobody tried to shame them or stigmatize them by telling them they needed therapy and so on and so forth. Nobody told them that. They told them that they were engaged in a social movement orientated towards justice. But when it comes to us, talking about justice related to the issues we have and the experiences we go through, all of a sudden we're broken. And this is the reason why we're saying some of the shit that we're saying.
Right.
That's absolutely ridiculous to me. Now, some of us are broken and have been hurt. Shout out to Grinch, because I watched this video last night when he talked about, this whole issue related to, black men being hurt. Well, what if we are hurt, motherfucker? So what you gonna do? Now you're gonna put the beta male stamp on us because we are traumatized by the ignorant shit that we get subjected to on a day-to-day basis? You understand what I'm saying? So look, let me just say this. In the world we live in, it must be understood that black men are the main targets of racial animus. We're the main targets, man, when it comes to being killed by the police, when it comes to being homeless, when it comes to incarceration, a whole host of issues. This society is bearing down on us full weight. Like we're on like real difficulty levels. They playing on the novice level because they have institutions from the state that they can appeal to and go to, and they use them. Black men aren't using the institutions at their disposal from the state in order to try to make life difficult for them because they got issues or problems. We didn't draw first blood on this. So if we're responding to attacks on our character and who we are and our innate dignity and our moral worth, then all of a sudden we're broken.
Right.
That's bullshit to me, man.
Right.
And look, anybody who wants to, come into the stream and express their opinion and their viewpoints, they can do so now because I want it. And if you disagree with what I'm saying, you could come in. But to me, this is just absolutely ridiculous. You're not addressing any of the points we make. I mean, there's literally thousands of hours of videos that black men have created within this space, addressing what our issues actually are. And instead of attacking or addressing those issues, what we get is broken, gay, incel.
Right.
That's all y'all got? That's absolutely ridiculous to me. That's all y'all got is gay, broken, or incel. I'm not speechless because I understand the motivation. It's a worldview that they don't understand. Black men are talking back. They're expressing themselves, and they've been blocked. They've been actually told, your expression is toxic for decades. And then you have men who, like you said, the babyface syndrome. I'll buy your clothes. I'll wash your clothes, cook your dinner as soon as I get home from work. You ain't got to do a damn thing. I'm going to do it all. Because I love you, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing. I give you the stars, the moon, everything. And you can continue to be an ass. You can continue to be violent, manipulative, vindictive. I'll do anything for you, baby, because I love you like that. Come on, man. Like, at some point, men have come to the conclusion that, like, sometimes these women don't have our best interest at heart. They're using the system and they're using this contemporary feminist narrative to make our lives more difficult than it has to be. And if you want some cooperation from us, you're going to have to be cooperative your damn self. That's what we're saying. That's part of what we're saying. I can't speak for all men in the manosphere. Okay, I cannot. But what I can speak to is this shaming language that these people are using. And it's not just women that are doing this, it's men as well. Yeah, and I think one of the brothers here pointed out that it's clout chasing. It's clout chasing. And
yeah,
look,
I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I wanted to address, a comment, if that's all right. New 580 says, we are a part of history. Black men are finally able to voice their words outside of just rap and sports. And I feel like, that's where a lot of fear is coming from. For the first time in history, you have all these social media outlets that give the common man, a common black man, a voice. And so many women and so many, beta men, by definition, are definitely afraid of these social media platforms because now men with voices have people who will not only follow them, but who understand what they're saying, who understand the content creator. what people really fear, what women really fear, is that men aren't necessarily following Kevin Samuels. This is what men have been thinking about for years, but just never voiced it, or just never had the outlet to talk about it or implement it, you know. And for the most part, we are witnessing history here, and new 580 is definitely right.
So I think you're right on that score.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, okay, now you're hearing a voice that you haven't heard before.
Yeah.
And instead of actually engaging the men who are speaking this way, you're going to create an outgroup and stereotype and pigeonhole us into a category,
Right.
because it doesn't fall in line with your traditional, or, you know, the contemporary thinking about how men and women are supposed to interact with one another,
Right.
especially in the Black community, when over and over and over we've been told, be quiet. When you talk,
Yeah.
you're mansplaining.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just on and on. But, and look, so I want to address this Missy Davis comment here, right? So she says, I don't know if other men think he's gay, then, well, you know, and look, my whole thing on it is this. And I'll say this again just to speak to you. I'm not going to try to be disrespectful to you. I'm just trying to make this point. Contemporarily, we live in a culture where all the shock value has been taken away from gayness. You got people, again, I'll say it again, you got people with rainbow flags and all kind of other shit on their Facebook pages. Like gay pride, we support y'all. We're here with y'all. We got you, because it's wrong to stop love. But then all of a sudden, and I'm not saying that Kevin Samuels is gay or not. It doesn't matter. To me, I'm saying, what if there is a gay man in the Black manosphere? So fucking what? I thought y'all was cool with the gay folks. I thought y'all supported gay people. I thought you was for free love. I thought you were progressive. I thought you was down with this movement. Now all of a sudden, you got somebody on YouTube making some noise, speaking points from the Black manosphere. Now all of a sudden, you got all these issues surrounding gayness. I mean, you showing your hand. You showing me that you talking out of both sides of your neck. You're being duplicitous, is what I'm saying. You can't. It's like, you know, that NWA song where they say some people say no to drugs and make a stand. Then after the show, they go looking for the dope man. It's like, on the one hand, you can't say you for gay folks and then come out trying to say, you know, certain people are suspect, and so therefore you don't need to listen to what they have to say.
Yeah, because which one is it? You know. Yeah.
So, you know, now I'm on to this broken issue. Look, man, here's the deal. Black men and women worked together. They had a cooperative venture. They knew that they had to deal with one another in order to deal with the challenge of racism. Okay? And I've outlined the various ways in which this rift had begun. Okay? Black men, Black women, civil rights, Black power movement, raise the fist up. I'm Black and I'm proud. Then all of a sudden, you get the women's movement who comes in. That comes in. Then you get, you know, the second wave feminist push and this thrust. And the next thing you know, all men, even Black men, become the enemy. We become regressive. We become toxic. We become pathological. We become unjust with the wave of a wand. Now we talking about, not, you know, I'm not saying all women, especially white women who are alive today, because I can't speak, I'm not speaking in generalities, but we are talking about history. And the history of the United States is, it was, and in many ways, it still is a racist place. It just is what it is. Okay? This is just facts. Okay, so at them lynchings, it wasn't just men present at those lynchings. It was women there too, with beer and picnic baskets. You understand? Like when those kids tried to desegregate those schools in Arkansas and elsewhere, you had white women too spitting on those Black kids. Okay? But then all of a sudden, at the very same moment that men, Black men, are about to enter into a space where they can expand, earn money, gain positions, and so on and so forth. You get these white women, like Bill Burr said, all of a sudden they swing their Gucci booted feet over the fence of oppression and they become a minority group. And then you get black feminists who ride that wave via Gloria Steinem. All of a sudden, now they consider themselves oppressed too. Black men become regressive, not in virtue of the fact that we actually control any major institutions in this country. Because when you look at it, we don't control the economic systems, the social systems, or the political systems in this country. We don't. Okay, so the only way that they can say that somehow we participate in this patriarchy is to argue that we do so by means of our violence, our ability to rape, and our ability to be violent towards women. But if you look at there's 40 to 50 years of social scientific research on domestic violence, which demonstrates that women are just as likely as men to initiate violent encounters with their partners. This is just real talk. Now I can pull up the list. There's over 300 studies, man. But nobody wants to discuss this or talk about this or have a conversation about this. And currently, we already know now, based on FBI statistics and DOJ statistics, that men are just as likely to be assaulted by by women as men are to assault women. These are facts, scientific, empirical facts. But you want to talk about us complaining about it? Like, look, you're giving us a bad name. You're pinning the tail on black men and saying we are the source of all the pathologies in our culture. Here's how you know that we're in a Kafka-esque situation. You got a black woman, Megan Thee Stallion, who admitted on camera, on video, that she was assaulting her partner and she was wrapping his ass up when he got out of line. But then she could become an ambassador for violence against women with a state representative supporting her.
It's hypocrisy, isn't it?
I'm not saying that men aren't violent. Men are violent. But the question is whether or not women are violent as well. And yes, they are. How many videos do I have to show to demonstrate this? At some point, either you're going to acknowledge reality for what it is, and we can actually try to remedy the situations and the pathologies that exist within our culture, or what we can do is just keep perpetuating a narrative that has no grounding in scientific fact or in empirical reality at all, just to preserve a notion that empowers a certain demographic. And it's not helping you, because I got a Harvard study right now that demonstrates that the highest likelihood that a woman will be subjected to domestic violence is for a woman to commit an act of domestic violence. That is her highest likelihood of being exposed to DV, by her slapping, punching, kicking, biting, or doing something ignorant to a partner. Because most men are socialized not to fuck with y'all. Right or wrong. But you have no such socialization yourselves. That's the problem. But when we say the truth, you tell us we're broken. We tell you the truth, you say we're gay. We tell you the truth, you tell us, okay, well, you are. I know you are, but so what am I? When you're in the hot seat, all you know how to do is turn the hot seat back on us. And we're saying, fuck that. That's done. That's over with. Now, if you want me to put the link up to the studies, I will. But this is social scientific fact, man. I'm an academician, man. I got a doctoral degree. I've been doing this shit for a long fucking time. Okay? I'm not talking about looking at stats from some sort of organization that flips and, cooks the damn stats in order to make it look like it's only women that are subjected to pathology in the black community. We're not going to play that game, man, because we have phenomenological experiences of pathology, exploitation, and violence and manipulation just like y'all do. We got Clark S, man. He's entering into the stream. What's up, Clark?
Peace, Green Gorilla. I'm listening, brother. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, man. You just came in. You got something to say? Push at it.
No, brother. Appreciate what you're saying. I'm lost, man. I'm lost, and really, it's gonna be touching on what you brothers already spoke on. So, just I don't know why we're so enamored with a man's alleged sexuality, what he is or what he isn't, particularly when if the message is on point. But I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. Y'all touched on it. Go ahead, man. I might chip in if something else strikes me.
Okay, so there are a whole host of people who assume that women don't assault their partners. Well, here are there's the studies right there. I just gave you the link. So you can look at the link and see the references. And I'll share the screen just so you can see it. This was put together. It was he's since updated this. This is just an old PDF that I found online. But his name is Martin Fiber. He is in the Department of Psychology, California State University. This bibliography examines 286 scholarly investigations, 221 empirical studies, and 65 reviews and/or analysis, which demonstrate that women are as physically aggressive or more aggressive than men in their relationships with their spouses or male partners. But you don't hear this. All you hear is the narrative and the spin that you get from feminists. And take it from me. Look, I've taken 3 graduate seminars in feminist philosophy. I done read it all from Mary Wollstonecraft all the way up to Brittany Cooper. I ain't gonna say I read every piece of literature, but I know who the major figures are and what their primary works are. I've read Simone de Beauvoir. I've read Gloria Steinem. I've read Michelle Wallace. I've read the Combahee River Collective. Bruh, keep it 100, man. You can get in this, bro. I already sent the link, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying.
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think you're excellent when it comes to facts and evidence, because you're presenting peer-reviewed evidence. Peer-reviewed articles, actual research. But the problem with the people that you're trying to present it to is that they don't give a shit about facts or evidence. They care about emotionalism. And of course, you already know that as well. Most people don't take the time to read academic journals. I know exactly what you're talking about because, I worked in law enforcement many years ago, and I could tell you firsthand that I used to argue this with, a lot of my colleagues. What you're talking about because I used to argue with a lot of my colleagues that women.
Hold on. Keep it 100. Turn your secondary source for YouTube down, bro.
Yeah, I used to argue with my colleagues all the time that, it's a possibility that this man doesn't deserve to be on. My first job out of college, I was a probation officer, very briefly, I paid the bills for the first year. And a lot of Black men in particularly would be on probation for domestic violence. And a lot of them would be pleading with me, telling me how they didn't do it. And I would actually believe them because I could ascertain their story. And I've been around women who are volatile as well. So I put 2 and 2 together. Then I started reading journal entries about academic journals about the same situation. And you are absolutely correct. Most, if not all the time, women are the initiators of domestic violence situations. But it's funny because I think you're the only person I've ever heard talk about it in terms of a content creator. In detail, the way that you're doing too, from an academic perspective.
Well, I'm not the only person. You got Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, who does it as a content creator.
I'm gonna look him up. Mm-hmm. You said Dr. T.
Dr. T. Hassan, Hasan Johnson.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up too. Yep.
And look, let me just say this. He does work on this issue, and when it comes to intimate partner homicide, women are also perpetrators of domestic violence homicide. Yeah. I got videos that show women running over their partners, stabbing them, slapping them, punching them, kicking them, biting them. And then the whole point is, see, look, men have an issue. When you talk about us being broken, what we have an issue with is the way the system is designed. We're talking about institutions, narratives, policies, and laws that are predicated upon lies. And if you want to solve a situation, that's like going to the doctor. This is a public health issue. If you want to solve a public health problem, you have to actually identify what the problem is. But instead of identifying the problem accurately and adroitly, what we do is we just refer to, oh, well, you know, it's the patriarchy, as if that shit is actually scientific. It's a bunch of bullshit. And the woman who created the whole narrative around DV contemporarily in our current culture, her name is Ellen Pence. She came up with the Duluth model of domestic violence. And she wrote an article called My Thoughts on Philosophy in a book entitled Community Responses to Domestic Violence. It was published in 1993, I think, or if it wasn't 93, it was 98. And she came out and admitted, we cooked this up. We lied about it. We denied, we had what they call implicit bias when we came up with this development for this policy. We did that. But still, it's on the books. And men are subjected to this shit, and you're telling us that we're crazy, we're fucked up, we're hurt, we're broken. Damn right, when you got the institutions, legal institutions, which primarily men do not utilize in order to destroy women's lives. They're being utilized against our lives with no inhibitions or impunity whatsoever. But you tell us we're broken because we're talking about it, because we even dare to mention the fact that it's some pathology coming from the other direction as well. That's the issue I take. So you telling us to shut up. You're telling us to be quiet, that we're lying about our experiences. Then you got people walking around like they're victims and shit, knowing full well they're hiding behind laws that are lies. And everybody is allowing this shit to take place. And see, a perfect case and example. Johnny Depp and this Amber Heard woman. Okay, I don't know if you ever heard about this situation. Now you got a woman on camera, on audio tapes, admitting, well, I wasn't punching you, I was just hitting you. Like, well, look, a man, if you pinch a 300-pound man, that shit's gonna hurt. Okay? If you slap a man in his fucking face, it's disrespectful to begin with. But y'all feel like y'all can get that shit off with impunity. And I'm telling you, at some point, there's going to be a pushback. If you see a backlash, if you see black men right now raging out and getting upset and they're pissed off, it's because they have a reason. Black men don't speak up unless there's a reason really actually to speak up. A lot of times we sit back and we hold a lot in because we've been trained to endure pain and to tolerate it and to be self-sacrificial. As Keep It 100 would say, to fall on swords. We've been trained to fall on swords, to risk our lives, to take up all the risk in society. If there's a danger, we're the ones the ones to go address the danger while they fall back. Now, it's not the same way in every species, because if you want to talk about lions, women are the ones that go out there and handle the hard work. They're the ones that get out there and do it. And the lions, the male lions sit back and watch the women get it in. So he's exactly right. Dirty jazz music, exactly right. Dirty jazz music is exactly right. Male disposability. And there's a lot of black male disposability and interchangeability. And at some point, men are saying, this is not a good deal for us. This is not good for us. Okay? So the last thing I want to talk about, in terms of me just having a discussion. So I talked about this whole brokenness shit. I talked about this whole gay thing. Now it's time to talk about this incel shit. You calling us incels is basically saying, okay, we don't have access to women because what? We're ugly or something like that. Women don't throw themselves on us at all. That's just a lie. There are many men in this space who can have their pick of whatever woman they want, but they're looking at what they have to pick from and they're saying to themselves, this is some bullshit. Period. Like the whole system is designed to make us disposable for a group of people who really couldn't care less about our well-being. And it just shows, because if you basically say, stop crying like a bitch when we're telling you it's something wrong going on here. And instead of being open-minded, impartial, objective, and entertaining what it is we say, seriously, like these guys are actually trying to say something here. And the first thing you do is you hurl insults, you call motherfuckers gay, you call them incels or say they're broken. Then you basically saying, I'm not hearing you at all. Fuck what you talking about. You have no value. Your opinion means nothing to me. Your experiences mean nothing to me.
Yo, what's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm just, like at some point, man, I begin to get frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Because you got men trying to express themselves and they've been told that they can't talk because what they say is mansplaining. We've been told that, okay, well, you not falling on a sword is not actually masculine. You're being selfish. But when you look at it and you see what's going on culturally, institutionally, whether that institution be educational, whether it be a penal institution, whether it be a court institution, whether it be an economic institution, I might have said that, corporate institutions, whatever they may be, even institutions that are designed to give aid to people, even social institutions like the family, we are not being listened to. The only thing we get is pump, 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 pump. Black men are toxic. All men are toxic. You need to let us have our way. And black men didn't participate in any of this shit.
Caesar Pope. Pardon me.
We didn't set out the institutions in this nation. We primarily have been the main ones who have targets on our back. And when we try to talk about our issues, we're being told, shut the fuck up. Go buy me a bag, nigga. Fuck what you're talking about. Make me feel like I'm on top of the world. Make me feel like I'm wanted, even though, I'm average. Like, you got women right now that believe that they're beautiful just because they're them. Like, come on, man. Like, you ain't treating men like that. You know all men ain't buffed up, looking right, got their body right, got their money right. You got songs, no scrubs, shit like that, going back to the damn 90s. Basically talking about what your standards are related to men. And then y'all got lists miles long. But if men have any list at all, any standard at all, any means by which to assess, evaluate, judge any of y'all, then all of a sudden we either gay, we're broken, or we're involuntarily celibate. A lot of men in this space are voluntarily celibate because they want to focus and get themselves straight. And they don't want to get into a quicksand situation where everything they work for can be tossed up like a game of pitch and toss. They don't want to lose it all. And a lot of men are losing everything fucking around with narcissists, bruh. And we're not telling the truth about this because all the animus is just directed towards us. Marcus, man, I'm going to let you have your word, bruh. Sorry to cut you off, man. You there, keep it?
Yeah. Pardon me, man. I got a hit real quick. But yeah, man. I wanted to speak to the title of this video and some of the things that you've been saying, man. And peace to you got people shouting me out in the chat room. What's up, Blacklight, and what's up, Adam? I see y'all. It's just, to me, it's just crazy how, like, again, men are asked to open up, and then when we do, then it shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? All of these issues that we have, that we speak to, like, we tell women, speak your truth and all these other things. And, like you said, we get called all these names, incel. Like, the funny thing is, all these words have meanings, right? And, I came in on the middle of this broadcast, but I'll say this. Not too long ago, I made mention that, you know, while women are pretending to support LGBTQ and all this other shit, they use that as an insult for straight black men. You can't be supportive of a lifestyle while using it to shame others, as if it is something to be ashamed of, right? And the incel thing, incel means involuntary celibate. We're not involuntarily celibate because we disagree with you or we ain't feeling some shit you be doing. You know what I mean? You know, broken and all this other shit. Again, is all to deflect from what's actually being said. Right?
Exactly, man. Exactly.
What's actually being said is valid. And the only way you can respond to a valid argument without responding to it is to deflect, to insult, and, you know, to do what they usually do. Is something that, you know, it's, to me, that in itself is abuse. That in itself is abuse, is gaslighting.
It's gaslighting. I was going to say that. And look, I did a video on gaslighting. Look, so when this video ends, I'll end up putting cards in the video with that are linked to other videos that demonstrate some of these points that I'm making without me going into, like, you know, freestyle expository on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's important for us to get this right, because ultimately what's happening is we're being told that our experiences aren't real. That is gaslighting. That is a form of collective abuse that all black men are experiencing to some degree or another. So then you got brothers, though, who will come back and say, well, you just don't like black women. Maybe it's because they love their mothers. Look, nobody loved their mother more than I did. I saw my mother take her last breath. I was there for from the time she got sick to the time she passed. And I made sure she was comfortable in every way as much as I possibly could. So this ain't got nothing to do with disrespect for our mothers or having pathological childhoods. It's dealing with a whole set of social circumstances that are not advantageous to us as black men. And then we got to lie and fall on the sword and just endure and take it forever without speaking up. And now you got these outlets which enable us to speak up. And then people don't want that because it challenges the narrative. So instead of actually dealing with what we have to say and dealing with our arguments, our research, our data, you just explain it away and tell us to be quiet, take it like a man.
You know, the byproduct of social media is that the voiceless got voices. You understand what I'm saying? That's the byproduct. You know, these major media outlets, and, you know, what is it, net neutrality and stuff like that. Like, they all trying to shut this type of shit down. But the byproduct was that we got to speak. And when we speak, it's, you know, it's all of these bad, terrible things. It's implied that as a guy, you're the bad guy, right? And it's implied that as, you know, that as a woman, you're this great and wonderful person that if you have any negative traits, you've gotten them from a man, or, you know, you were subject to some abuse that brought this bad side of you out, right? So, you know, at the end of the day, it always comes back to us. But I tell women all the time, I say, listen, man, you don't want your experiences denied, but you're doing it to others. So the same abuse that you're saying that you're receiving, if you feel or you perceive that someone is telling you the things that are happening to you are not real, you're doing that to men. But you don't see men as human. What guys don't understand, and this is our problem. When I say our, I mean men, and especially black men. We don't understand that women view us as a means to an end, bro. We are a means to an end. All right. We have the resources, not just in society, but just on planet Earth, period. Like, before there was a society, before there was anything, at the end of the day, there was an unwritten contract between females and males that the woman would trade sex for resources. Anything, if the man had built a hut, or if he fished or hunted, or anything like that. Women offered sex for those things when we were as basic as fuck. You understand what I'm saying? So now with this society that we've built, and we've built this society over the roughness and the raw elements of the earth, and we built safety into the shit, and we've kind of rendered ourselves obsolete. Everything that you're looking at, the electric, the plumbing, the walls, everything that you're looking at is a result of the same patriarchy you saying is oppressing you, but you're enjoying the benefits of it while saying you don't need the man who built it. You understand what I'm saying? And
That's true.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, like I said, I got a video called "The Tightening of Bolts" that basically says if men walked away from this shit, it would fall apart, become the Planet of the Apes, and women could not sustain it. So they can talk that we don't need niggas all they want. At the end of the day, like, everything you're looking at is what we gave you.
The roads,
Yep.
the truckers who drive
Skyscrapers, the
those rigs
hospitals.
on ice.
Yeah.
So
You know-
when you say men don't protect you, society is your protection from the elements.
Wow. Yep.
It's your protection from the elements. The roof protects you from the rain. The walls protect you from the cold, and the light protects you from the fucking darkness. And it was all brought to you by the patriarchy, sponsored by the fucking patriarchy. Patriarchy means father, is a dad. Okay, that's what that means. It doesn't mean some ruler or whatever what it been changed into with contemporary bullshit definitions. It's patriarchy is the dad. It's I take care of women and children, and what they're complaining about is the actual abuse of the power that comes with patriarchy, not patriarchy itself.
And that's and look, I couldn't have said it better myself, man. Like, the reality of the situation is there's good and bad qualities associated with men and women. Okay, but we've created this dichotomy, so to speak, like the old poem, women are sugar, or girls are sugar and spice and everything nice, and boys are snips and snails and puppy dog tails. We've created this dichotomy where every form of malevolence and pathology has been siphoned off to men. All of the benevolent qualities of nurturing and mothering and caring have been partitioned off to women. And then all of a sudden, we're trying to uphold this bullshit. Like, come on, man. Like, anybody knows that there are good and bad qualities to any individual, whether they have testicles or a uterus, man. I mean, like, at some point, this whole narrative is going to collapse. It can't be sustained. And yes, you are seeing the tip of the spear. The Black Manosphere are the group of men who don't give a shit, who are saying, okay, look, I'm going to mansplain. If that's what you want to call it, okay, well, then that's what it is. You're going to have to deal with it. And if the extent to which you don't want to deal with it, men are not fucking with y'all. Bottom line, we opt to leave y'all alone. Let me tell you something, man. I had a woman, man. I told her, I said, don't come to my house unless I tell you can come to my crib. Don't come here unless I tell you can come here. All right? Because she did it one time. But then she did it again. And I ain't let her in. She did it again. I ain't let her in. She did it again. I didn't let her in. And I told her, I said, you know what? I can't fuck with you at all because you don't follow basic rules and principles. I told you don't come to my shit if I tell you don't come to my shit. Or unless I tell you, you can come to my shit. Now, if a man would have done that, what would that woman have done? The first thing she would have done was call the police, set up an order of protection, said I was some sort of creep, and then stigmatize me and put me in a social situation where I could be canceled because of Me Too and believe her and all this shit. Men don't have those tools at their disposal. In fact, they're told that they're the primary ones who are the ones that are creating all of this discomfort for women. They don't ever create any discomfort for us. It's time for that narrative to close. But the reason it's so paramount, the reason it's so pervasive is because most men don't say shit. Maybe either they're trying to cape because they have a sense of honor for womanhood that they don't have in exchange or in return, or maybe it's because they're just trying to get some ass. You know, I don't know. I can't speak to another person's motivations. You know, but you know, it's a long time due, man. You don't want to hear this conversation, but you're gonna get this work. You're gonna get this work, and this work ain't gonna stop because the circumstances which have given risen to the work have not ceased. So therefore, you got these social media outlets. Men are not gonna stop talking, man. And I encourage men to keep talking. And the other men are gonna step up and say, "Well, you know, you're gay. You don't like black women. You're making them feel bad." Man, fuck all that.
Hey, I gotta call your attention to something, man. So I don't know who Wise One is.
I just saw that too. I was about to say something about that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe they want attention. Well, here we go. Says black men haven't contributed anything to society since the Civil Rights Act. Is two comments above the comment you just displayed.
Okay, well, you know, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But you know, black people built this motherfucker, to be perfectly honest, for free. You understand what I'm saying?
And then for low wages.
I'm not even talking about and then for low wages, like the first fired, the last hired. I mean, if you want to get technical, like who built this motherfucker? The slave labor of primarily black men. Now, if you just go back, I even did a show on this. The people who came to this country as slaves, for the most part of the duration of slavery, were black men. I got the articles on that as well. We got the demographics behind that. We can look at that and study that. It wasn't until later when slavery was about to be outlawed that you saw this influx of women who were brought here for reproductive purposes.
Yeah. Yes.
And they were often able to screw their way, have children to give up. They were able to screw their way to freedom.
Yes, please speak on that, bro.
And but we don't want to talk about the reality. We want to talk about, oh, well, you know, we were both out in the fields. I mean, and some women were. I'm not saying that there weren't some women, but primarily, man, racism is primarily a male sport, man. And it's time for people to acknowledge this and to stop playing games, man.
Yeah,
racism in its most intense and violent form is what Dr. Tommy Curry calls black misandrist aggression or misandric aggression. That's what it is. Anytime you get a group of out-group men in a culture that are oppressed, it's going to be the battle-age men who are attacked. Most of these people are going to be non-violent as well.
Well, yeah, that has to be a woman. Wise One. You built it, but you don't run it. See, the funny
so we don't. Okay, so we don't run it. Okay, so that's cool. We'll run to Zaddy and fuck with him, and when he black your eye up, you know what I'm saying? Okay, you're gonna be singing the same tune. I mean,
let me address that, please, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind, but I want to give shouts out to my brother, the Smoothiest.
Yes,
and I want to talk about his comment because he at least deserves a mention.
Absolutely.
They don't like the fact that brothers are in the midst of building their empires and are dictating how it's ran. Bottom line, black men aren't supposed to make demands or set stipulations. Fuck out of here. Right on to my brother, man. So this is this other argument that we're conquered shit. You know what I'm saying? And this is primarily you see this shit in the United States. Okay? And we're outnumbered 8-1 or some shit like that. I'm just being honest, okay? In Haiti, they had a revolution. In African cultures that were colonialized, they threw off the yoke of oppression. And I mean, there's still remnants and residue and vestiges of colonialism there, you know? But no one group of people control and dominate forever. So while you talking all this shit, when black men do rise again, you're going to be the first in line, looking for the goodies, gimmies, and grab-ems. Holla at you.
So check this out. And this is directly to Miss Wise One, because I'm sure that's a female. Absolutely sure. You don't want us to run it, and you do everything possible to prevent that from happening, because what you see in any black male authority is Mr. from the color purple. All right, that's what you see. You know, at the end of the day, for a fact, that if we were in control of anything and running anything, it wouldn't be this bullshit that we're dealing with now. You like the shit the way it is now because you run the black, I wouldn't even call it a community. You run the hood. You run the hood. As dysfunctional and ass backwards as it is, you run it. And you get to run it and blame the outcomes on us. That's what you like. You like to run it into the fucking ground and blame black men for the outcomes that you produce. Okay, so yeah, we don't run it. Okay, but you ain't getting a fair shake either. You could blame white women's feminism. What has it done for you? Because you can't take that philosophy outside of the ghetto. You can use that white women's feminism on black men, but when you take it to white women, when white police and white husbands and daddies do shit to you, where are your white feminist sisters? Where are they? Making zero noise. When you get Me Too'd, where are your white feminist sisters? What happens to the white men who rape and kill you? Let's talk about that. Now, another thing I'll address, because you know, there's this like berating of black men as if we are oppressor and powerless, conquered black man at the same time.
Hey, look.
One more thing, G. We both heard the idea that black women practice white supremacy, and here it is. In the same way that white men will kind of taunt black men for not having their shit together and at the same time do everything in their power to hold a motherfucker down. This is what black women do, because they are enjoying the same privileges and powers proxy from white men in reference or in context to us. Okay? They talk down to us. They look down on us. And the problem is, if we have a nickel more than they do, or if we achieve the six figures that they say we need to achieve to fuck with them, the minute we turn around and demand value back or some reciprocation, then we are these gay incels and you know all of this other shit. The minute we become the shit that you say we need to do for your respect, when we check all the fucking boxes, now you are challenged to step up and meet us at our level. And you can't do it. You can't do it. So all the shit you want to talk about, we don't run shit. What the fuck do you run? A baby mama ridden, crack infested hood.
And see, look. I'm not gonna go that far, but I understand the sentiment. And you know, and look, here's the deal. You got 75% of black kids being raised in single parent families headed by black women in the black community. All right. And you wonder, and you're not teaching these boys how to be militant. You're not having them be around men because you want to run shit. So can't no man tell you what to do. You strong and independent, or you know, you subjected to abuse from the beginning to the end, from the rooter to the tutor. So you don't want to have to deal with that. So okay, so you're gonna do this shit on your own. But here's the results of what you're doing on your own. You produce the so-called, like you said, Marcus, earlier, and I've seen Kendra say this, I've seen other people say this. You're producing the men that you want, or that you don't want. You are the ones. One of the things you gotta be aware of, man. Kids, man, pick up on other people's actions and comportment. And if all these boys have to see from infancy to adulthood is mama then what the fuck kind of attitudes are they gonna pick up? What kind of comportment are they gonna pick up? And another funny thing about this is, man, white men in the South, man, in the Confederacy, they lost the Civil War, man. They lost. But they still got venerated after having lost because their women understood what you have to do is you have to build your men up to have a strong culture in society. You have to do that. And they went about the business of building their men up. The daughters of the Confederacy, they built statues all over the fucking South. The ones that you won't pull down now. Women put them motherfuckers up, not white men. White women put them motherfuckers up. And so my question is, where are all the black? Because black men fought in the Civil War on the side of the Union. They also fought in the Confederacy. But black men fought in the Korean War, World War I, World War II, Vietnam. Black men actually went out there and fought in order to gain access to social and political equality. But still no honor, none of that. No support, no lionization, just a whole bunch of, well, you niggas ain't shit. And so this is why men are saying, fuck y'all. If you're going to come to the table with attitudes like that, and with, this whole, berating, down talking, belittling behavior, then fuck you. Go fuck with Zaddy then. But Zaddy don't want you because all you produce is niggas. You don't want to hear that though. You are a nigga production machine.
Hold on, Gigi.
And you might not like it. You might not like it, but that's the reality of the situation. Now, either you can produce black men and have black men be around to help instill values that are masculine in those boys, or you can continue on the road we're on and get more motherfucking, of the shit that you got right now. The so-called pookies or whatever the case may be.
And Gigi, can we keep it real? That's the only reason. That's the only reason he keeping her around, to keep producing niggas. Keep producing niggas.
They don't want it.
So, look, and shout out to Black Ken. They're terrified of our growth the same way white supremacy is. I don't blame them. The empowered black man is a threat to every part of white supremacy, status quo, and the female fuckery. Yes. And it just is what it is. And look, so what you have right now is a gynocracy in the black community. They know it. They're aware of it. And they use the system with no inhibitions and with impunity. And that's why you hear black men in this space saying that y'all are the handmaiden of white supremacy. Yeah. That's why you hear black men in this space saying this, because you have no inhibitions using these systems to further press us down. Overseers.
So can I say something here? I just want to, for one thing, I'm not going to even address that question. So I'm going to say this, brothers. The problem is that we are not strong. And I'm going to tell you this. Once you come to a realization and an understanding that you have traitors amongst you, then that's the end of the discussion. They have gone too far. And to me, there's no return on that. I've had recent experiences that shocked me with, most recent experiences with an Israeli woman, another one with a Latina woman, another one with a white woman. And essentially, they did something I was not used to. They asked, well, in an indirect way, they allowed me to make the decisions. They allowed me to take the lead. I have never, ever had to do that. And if we're going to produce men, then we are going to have to learn how to lead, and our women are going to have to help us with that. And the Israeli woman that I met, she willingly took a back seat to allow me to lead in walking and making decisions. When you have your woman, it won't allow you to do that, and it's going to fight you for power. And there's no way that you can build with her. Now, let me give you an example of my background. I'm a project manager. And throughout my career, I can't tell you how many times I have been attacked, vilified, false accusations, all by Black women on the job to kind of it was an effort to prevent me from going to the next level. It was an effort on her part not to comply with the policies. Let me give you an example. I had a young woman, she's a Black woman, who I hired through a temp agency to do a job for a month. She came in and was on the phone for 2 hours. Then when I fired her, she actually showed up the next day thinking she could just show up. And I told her, I said, you're trespassing, I'm going to call the police. She did not care. I had to call her agency, and the agency had to get her on the phone and say, you need to leave right away. We are dealing, and check the boxes, we are dealing with a woman who has demonstrated in every way, shape, or form that she is in alignment with white supremacy, that she has no respect for us, and that she's actively participating in white supremacy. The act of becoming involved in feminism and how that could translate into hating Black men when she should be calling to task the white men that raped her, forced her to have mulatto babies. I don't understand how you can go through feminism and then come out blaming Black men who are powerless, who are not part of our patriarchy, is beyond me. When you have Black women who are boarding Black babies, specifically male babies, when you have Black women walking around in all kinds of multicolored stuff looking like BAPs, which is an embarrassment to Black men globally, when you have them in blonde hair, weave that it's not their hair, it's a white woman's hair, this is an embarrassment to us on a global level. And to me, they've gone to the point of no return. The other day I went to say hi to these two sisters on the street. None of them looked at me and even acknowledged me. First man on the planet, first woman on the planet, and they can't give me a respect just by the fact that I'm the first man on this planet. What kind of, while every other race of woman will allow us to lead. And it's so important that we know how to lead and that our women help us and teach us how to lead so we can take back this planet. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for coming in and sharing your opinions. And look, some of this shit gonna come out raw to y'all. And I don't have a problem with the rawness. Because far too long, look, for 50 to 60 years, men in general, but Black men in particular, have been subjected to all kinds of negative stereotypes and all kind of insults, all kind of caricaturizations that all are centered around how inadequate, pathological, weak, violent, abusive, and a whole host of other negative epithets, how we are. We're saying, look, don't start pointing fingers at us, man, without pointing fingers at yourself. Look in the mirror, man. I know you like to think your shit don't stink, but lean a little bit closer, see, because roses smell like boo-boo. That's all I'm saying, man. You ain't all you think you are. Now, we love you to some degree. If we didn't, we wouldn't be dealing with you at all. But, man, you make it hard to fuck with y'all sometimes. And we telling you this, and instead of taking that and using it as a means by which to understand how to get this shit repaired, all you can do is call us gay, broken, and involuntarily celibate. Some of us, a lot of us are fathers in this space. Some of us are not, but many of us are. Many of us are married. Many of us have daughters, man. That's the ill part about it. And trying to have a conversation and talk and to have some level of accountability and reality is what? It's like running your fingers across a chalkboard. At some point, this conversation has to be had. I'm glad that it's being had. I'm telling brothers, man, continue to mansplain, continue to bitch, fuss, and raise a cuss, continue to give this work. I don't care if they don't like it. And it has nothing to do with hating women. It's about our experiences. You've been talking about your standpoint theory for the last 50, 60 years. You're not the only people with standpoints. You're not the only people with standards. You're not the only people that have experiences and emotions and tragic events happen to you in your lives. And us even trying to talk about it, all we get is the same bullshit, how weak you are, how impotent you are, how, other men are this way. You're only talking about America, man, a unique situation. Women throughout the world don't act this way. This all is the product of plantation politics. And, like the brother said, man, I'm beginning to think, man, these women want this shit this way, even if it's pathological, even if it's not reciprocitous, even if it's not the kind of activity and the type of relationships that will lead to the establishment of healthy, vibrant, flourishing, functioning communities 7 generations down the line. They're going to do it, goddamn it, because I just want to do it. I just want to do me. Fuck you. I just want to do me. This is not the way of the world, man. This ain't the way of the world.
Okay, I'm going to say this, and I don't care how people feel about this, but you cannot, there was a woman, she claimed to be spiritual and all that. She kept cursing, and I said, you can't curse. It's not ladylike, it's not spiritual-like. She didn't want to hear it. These women don't listen. And I'm going to say this. What we're not taking into consideration, because I dealt with a sister recently, because I do counseling on the side, and it was a shock for me to come to the realization that she had mental health issues. A large segment of our women are mentally ill. They're not balanced. And this is because overall, we have not given reparations. We have not been getting adequate health care. We have not been diagnosed properly. But you cannot, we're trying to make something work that is an impossibility. And I'm going to venture to say, I believe the majority of Black women are mentally ill. The rest have been indoctrinated into white supremacy. And many of them are very ego-centered. They don't care. They don't even want to listen to what our concerns are or what's going on. And there's something that's mentally imbalanced when you're dressing in multicolored, long nails, long eyelashes, and looking like a transvestite, not a woman, looking like a transvestite. And when I talk to sisters, I have to make sure it's a woman and not a man. There's something that's not really balanced right in their psyche. And as you were saying, no woman on the planet has this problem but our women. And until they are willing to listen to us, submit to us, I don't want to have anything to do with them. That's it.
Well, that's a pretty strong statement, man. And that's how men are beginning to feel. That's how a lot of men feel. And you can take it with a grain of salt and say you don't care and continue on. Or if you really actually care, because look, think about this. Most women calling in the Kevin Samuels show, they want to be married. They want to have a husband, but they want to be so selective to the point where it's absolutely ridiculous. And they have such high regard, and there's nothing wrong with thinking of yourself in high regard. Nothing. But damn, you can't look at other people like they're peasants, perceive yourself to be a queen, and think that you're going to find a suitable mate. How you going to do that?
Because
you're thinking you're at the top echelon of all women, and the only man that you need and will deal with is a motherfucker making millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars a year that can spoil you with trinkets and make you feel like a princess.
Well, my brother, that's because they have created their own reality. They're delusional in a way in terms of how they see themselves and how they see the world. You're not looking at the fact that they're so ego-based. They think that the world has to cater to them. They think that they can jump in our faces, the police's faces, and do what they want because this society, especially white supremacy, has not held them accountable for anything. So they've gotten away with so much that to me it's at a point of no return where they think they can just do and say anything they want. They are the worst dressed women I've seen with no fashion sense. And some of these brothers dressing with their pants hanging down need to be corrected. But I have never seen any group of women with no type of fashion sense, decor, demure, femininity. It's just alien to them. And I don't know how it got that way.
Well, I'm going to tell you how it got that way. It got that way primarily because the feminist movement made it such that, femininity, being feminine, was being, you know, forced on them and they were being oppressed. So the idea was, in order to open up their freedom, you know, their adoption of what was traditionally feminine had to be thrown away, because that was the very thing that was preventing them from being able to have agency, to be active agents in the world. Like, I mean, just read Betty Friedan, The Feminine Mystique, and you'll see it. Now, you know, but it's two sides to every story. For every story of a woman saying that she's been oppressed, there's a story of a man that says, this woman is full of shit. This woman is ignorant. This woman is manipulative. This woman is vindictive. Like, drama between people and conflict between people is not just one-sided. But here we have a whole theory, a whole academic discourse that's predicated upon pathologizing one group of people. That's bad faith to me. It's not even realistic. Thank you, my brother Darkside Chaos, for becoming a member of the Green Gorilla channel. Welcome to the Congress, my friend. But, you know, look, all I can say is, and you got this woman says we need to build. Man, look, put it this way. Even on a microcosmic level, like an individual level, like my brother Marcus was just saying, even when it's the case that we build and we have something established and we take women and lift them up out of substandard conditions, they still bitch and complain. They still act masculine, even to the point of violence. They still get attitudes. It's like nothing we do is good enough. Even when we win, we lose. That's the issue we're having. That's the problem that we're having.
Brother, we won't get to the point of when we're building because they will sabotage our efforts to climb upward. That is the point. And and what you said was absolutely true, is that they are petty and they will burn the ship down just to despite us. And they will destroy their own welfare, their own future, just to get back at us. And that's the thing that we have to be very aware of and cautious with when we're trying to build something, is that these women don't have our best interest at heart. Reason being is they've been programmed by white society to do this, you know? So we just have to be very, very careful in how we maneuver things and how we move.
And look, I don't have a problem with women getting theirs. I think women should go after theirs and get theirs, but don't do it at our expense. And look, I don't have a problem with gay people either. But don't use this narrative that black men are the white, straight black men, or the white people are black people, in order to elevate yourself and to cozy up to whiteness. I don't play that, man, because we know what it is. We're sitting here knowing what it is. We're analyzing and assessing it. We're telling you what it feels like to us. We're telling you, we're providing arguments, historical narratives. We're providing you with empirical data, but none of that is enough. And there are countries where black men run shit. I mean,
GG, can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead and jump in, man.
Brother,
And then
I'm looking at these.
In 15 minutes, I'm about to get off here, though.
Got you. I'm looking at some of these comments in the chat. So you have one sister saying y'all need to build if you want us to submit. There's this avatar, Vicky Vix and whatever, talking about if you can be stopped, are you truly a leader? Here's what I'm gonna say to that. If you want black men to build, surrender your immediate gratification and get behind that man. If you want us to build, give up the luxuries of your immediate gratification and get behind the men.
Exactly.
If you want us to build, invest in your boys. Put your boys amongst men who are leaders. See, this is not going to be an overnight thing. We're not in a position where we aren't a subjugated and conquered group. We have to accept that, man. We are a conquered group.
I feel that. Look, all the signs point to that phenomenon and that fact, but it doesn't have to remain that way. And
it doesn't have to remain that way.
And look,
and it's going to be a. Go ahead, G.
Racism is a team sport, and you can talk all you want to about white women and their feminism. Look, I know a whole bunch of white feminists You know, because I've been to graduate school. I know how they play and I know what they do and I know how they act and interact. You'll have a woman who's a feminist professor, but then she'll have a husband who's a masculine and studies scholar. That's how they work the game. They work cooperatively. Not all of them. You know, I'm not speaking in total generalities, but these women will work with their men because they know the value of having a man present.
Yep. Yep.
Our women feel like they the backbone of the black community. They don't need a fucking man. There's no redeeming value in black men other than to give them shit. This is how we're responding to the comments that are being made. What we need for you to build. We build shit all the time. We earn money and help support you and your children all the time. Many of us step in as stepfathers and pick up the slack from your poor decisions. All the time, black men are doing this. Black men are risking their lives, sacrificing the whole nine. And we get no respect for it. And again, white men in the South lost the fucking war. And their white women went out and created statues and venerated them.
Good point. Good point.
They went out, I mean, the losers of a war. They went out and edified those men because they knew that if you're going to motivate a man, the man is motivated by respect. If he knows he has somebody that is going to support him and be down for him, ain't shit that man ain't going to do to make sure that that motivation is not still in place. It's not permanent. But instead, if you get a whole bunch of berating, negativity, attitude, disrespect, then who's going to be motivated to do anything for you? This is a team sport, but people don't understand that. And look, whether you want to believe it or not, our lives are inextricably interconnected, whatever way, as long as we still here in this spot, in this place, because you got brothers, you got every black woman that's alive got a damn daddy, whether he was in your life or not. Most of you got black daddies. Whether you like the motherfucker or not. So, and many of you got sons. So the question is, what are you going to do with your son to ensure that he's the kind of man that you want him to be? And you can't do it by yourself.
Well, you have these sisters running around talking about we the most educated while black boys are reading on the 4th grade level. Make that make sense. And the other thing is, let me point this out real quick. There's a difference between a sister having a problem with what I did or angry at me. That's understandable. But you're talking about an innate disgust and hatred for our existence. That is something that's really extreme.
That is extreme. And you know, we feel that. Thank you, Dirty Jazz Music. And look, man, this is not all we're talking about is what we feel, what we think, what we've pondered over for years. And it's come full circle. And no, you're not going to turn the spigot off and make us be quiet. No, you're not going to shame us by calling us gay, incels, and broken. That ain't going to work no more. And also, let me just say this. When you talk about genocide, it starts with the men, but it ends with the women. Because if you look at genocide studies, go do some research on the shit. Because when they get through fucking with us, if they were able to eliminate us and to suppress us, they're going to come after your asses next.
Absolutely.
That's it. That's it.
And you don't believe
I said,
they will.
what's going to happen when the floor falls through?
Look at the history.
See, black men on the floor. What happens when the floor falls through?
Man,
black men are the scapegoat. What happens when the scapegoat's gone?
I'm telling you.
All your asses is next.
It ain't no you without us. It ain't no us without you. But y'all don't see that. And this is the problem with contemporary culture and how people think about their place in the culture. And it's all predicated upon, you know, this white Eurocentric way of thinking about the world and freedom and politics and social life and the whole nine. It's like, whatever is good for me is good for me. You can't tell me what to do. You're not the boss of me. But at the same time, these folks, man, they know what game they're playing. You just don't know what game is being played. That's the issue. And yeah, black men will decide I'm saving myself from a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of attitude, a lot of blocked and thwarted progress. Because you know one thing I know for certain, if you got a progressive black man who's intent on being successful, there's not going to be any impediment to his success as much as a failed relationship. That's going to bring a man down. This is why you got stories about this shit from time immemorial. From Ulysses trying to get back home and being, you know, impressed and put under a spell by a witch, to Samson having his locks cut off with Delilah. You know what I'm saying? A woman can drain your energy. All we asking is, if you want us to be all these conquerors and shit, you have to start instilling that into young boys at an early age, and you have to start letting men actually be a vital and integral part of their development and their socialization. That's the problem. That's the issue. And right now, you got women basically saying we can create extended families without men. All we need you for is the sperm. So, well, he said the Truth 145 said Ulysses. You're not Ulysses. Well, you know, it's about Latin versus Greek. I get it, my brother. But you know, at the end of the day, man, I don't want this stream to go on forever, man. I'm gonna let y'all give closing remarks. And it's just, all I'm saying is deal with our arguments without trying to resort to name calling and ad hominem, you know, comments. Because all this gay shit, and I see men doing it as well. Oh, sister, you know, like I guess they the sister whisperers or some shit like that. You know, that's how they got their channels set up. And I don't have a problem. Some of my best friends are women, but I'll tell them the truth. I'm not gonna sit there and stroke their egos because they're grown. I don't play games with people like that. I got family members that are female. That'll hold me down, I'll hold them down. But this gender war, understand, like Rambo said, we didn't draw this shit. We didn't come up with this first blood. Y'all drew this first blood. Them fugly feminists is self-ascribed and self-defined. Fugly feminists created this shit. They're the ones that started. We didn't start this. So I'm gonna let y'all give y'all closing remarks, man. I'm about to be up out of here, man. You know, and I know I went a little hard in the paint, but shit, we need to go hard in the paint. This is uncensored, man. This is what it is. This is what we think. This is our expression, which has been squelched and stymied for decades. And now it's open. It's opened up, and people don't know how to deal with it. The only way they can identify it is gay, broken, or some incel shit. So I'm gonna let y'all go around the board, man. I'm gonna start off with Imhotep, go to Clark, and then you know, Marcus, if you still here, dog, then you can go ahead and get yours in, and we can get up out of here.
So I was at dinner with his sister, and she was wondering why I wasn't. It wasn't a date; it was more business. But she was wondering why I wasn't interested in her. And her only retort could be that I was gay. I said, "No, I just don't like your extensions and your masculine ways." And she felt some type of way. Our women are supposed to be moral, and I was surprised to hear Shazar Azad Ali say that black women lack morality, and that's the problem that we're facing now. That's all I have to say. Thank you for brother to let me in to talk today.
You're welcome, man. Thank you for joining us, stopping by. You know, I'll be here all the time, man. I ain't going nowhere. So it is that, bro. I'll holler at you, man. Take care.
Peace.
Peace. So I don't know if that was Brother Clark or Imhotep. I can't tell because there's no I guess that
Clark's
was
still here. I'll go ahead.
Go
Green
ahead.
Gorilla, first and foremost, again, man, thank you for having me. You've been so gracious. Just for welcoming all of us up here, man. I really appreciate you. This is my first time on your panel. Is listening to you for a couple months now, and just appreciate you and the work you do, man. Really appreciate your graciousness. In closing, I'll just say I support, as Dr. Ronald Neal says, BMI, black male independence, but also Black males' ability to have liberty in this society. Black men, you're not here to be a mule for America, and you're not here to be a mule for Black America. And I want to see Black men be able to exercise their fullest capacity as human beings, first and foremost on this earth.
Thank you, my brother. I agree with that, man. You know, we're not
I
to be
really,
used as instruments or tools. We have innate dignity and worth, just like anybody else does. And that needs to be acknowledged. So thank you, brother, for
absolutely,
your comment, man. Appreciate that.
absolutely. Thank you.
Take care, man.
All right, you be well.
Take care. Marcus, man, you know, I don't know if you're still there. Marcus, are you there? Well, it seems like Marcus dipped off. So I'm going to remove him from the stream. Well, anyway, man, you know, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me tonight. You could be anywhere in the world, baby, but you decided to be here with me. I'll be here tomorrow. I don't know what my topic is just yet. I want to talk about the coddling of America and, you know, the ways in which, you know, we're being, I don't know, I guess the word would be pussified everywhere. I mean, you know, everybody wants to be protected, but that's not the way of the world, man. You need challenges. You need to be able to take risks in order to grow. And right now we live in an environment, man, that's stifling. And everybody's, you know, being protected, stifled so much that it's smothering. So that's probably what I'll talk about tomorrow. But at any rate, man, thank you all for joining me tonight, man. I'll talk to y'all in the next go round. Holla at you. Peace. Keep talking. Don't let nobody shut you up. Holla at y'all. Peace.